Welcome to Musings, Rants, and Guitars. I'm going to say first, I will never play guitar again. Anyway, welcome to Musings, Rants, and Guitars. We have special guest Johnny Hiland on. Johnny, thank you so much for coming on and being a part of the show.
Oh, man, it's such a pleasure. I sure appreciate you guys having me on with you. Great.
We are so stoked.
Yeah. If you don't know who Johnny Hiland is, he is just an amazing guitar player and you know, a country artist, but not just a country artist, man. So, Lenny, can you tell our crowd a little bit about Johnny?
Well, where do I start? Aside from being like unbelievably just incredible, happens to be a very nice guy. And first of all, we thank you for being on our show tonight. Just honored about that. But for those people that don't know who you are, you're considered a country picker. You've won all kinds of accolades and awards throughout the years, but you're also like part of the shred universe where you're not just a country guy. You kind of cross every boundary, and you go from southern rock to instrumental rock to just downright pure shred, and you are able to incorporate it in a way that not many people get to do it and incorporate so many different genres. And that's basically, you're like the kitchen sink. Everything's thrown in one. And when you listen to your music, it's, there's traces of this, just so many different textures rolled into one. It's just unbelievable.
I understand you started really young, Johnny, right?
Like you started playing guitar at 2 years old?
Yeah, 2.5, man. Yeah.
Now, were your parents, were they musically inclined or?
Well, my dad played drums in the 60s, man. And, of course, my grandfather, who I was named after, his name was John William Hiland, but he went by Hike Hiland in the 30s on the radio. And I've still got his old guitar. It's a 1939 J35 Jumbo.
Oof.
Wow.
Yeah, I've still got that old guitar, man. And but, it's funny, man. He really, outside of Dad and Grampy John, I mean, my grandfather on my mom's side, he played piano and a little guitar and stuff. But really, as far as I'm concerned, I mean, I think really my whole thing really was a gift from God, guys, because truly I was born legally blind with an eye disease called nystagmus.
Yeah. I was going to.
And I'm legally blind, man. I can't see to drive. I can't, there's a lot of things I can't do, But at the age of 2.5 years old, man, I started playing guitar, and, my parents bought me my mom had an old guitar from the 70s that just sat in the corner, and I'd try to play along with commercials and stuff like that, and my dad's like, man, I think this kid's gonna, so I started playing out like Jeff Healey, really. I started playing with the guitar on my lap and using my fingers like this, and then my thumb. So I did a lot of that stuff early on, but I did my first talent show at age 5. And did my first TV show at age 7 on Dick Stacy's Jamboree in Brewer, Maine.
And then didn't you win like some kind of like a talent award that same year, or?
Actually, when I was 10, man, my folks entered me in Talent America, which that
was a big deal back then.
Yeah, it was a big thing for New England folks, especially. So I won that. I won the Patrick Dempsey Award when I was 10, and then I won an award from the Yes I Can Foundation. For my talent back then. But just to let you guys know, I play 22 instruments, and to be honest with you, it's by the time I was 10, I was playing guitar, banjo, mandolin, and fiddle in my show, and we kids traveled all the way through, up through Canada and all the way down through New England, and won a bunch of awards with the Down East Country Music Association, and then of course my voice started changing. Puberty.
Wow.
But by the age of 12, my dad got me my first electric guitar because he had taken me to see Ricky Skaggs at the Bangor Auditorium. And Ricky, back then, he had, Heartbroken, Honey Open That Door, and and Uncle Pen, and all the good ones, And man, I just loved Ricky's Purple Glacier Telly, but I didn't know it was a Glacier then, and I didn't know he was using a B bender,
Right.
So I would get every Ricky Skaggs album I could find, man, and I'd be sitting at home trying to figure out, you know, I'm like, how's he getting that sound? You know, it's like it was like, you know, it was like trying to figure them all out without a bender, right? But I didn't know what a B bender was, and didn't know Ricky used one. So I just thought, well, man, I've got to do what he does.
I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah, see, Joey and I talked about that. So
yeah, and that was the one thing I wanted to ask you is like, how the hell did you come up with that? Because I always loved the B bender sound, and I'm watching you, and I'm like, this guy's killing me. Like, how are you doing that?
But see, during that time frame, though, I mean, Marty Stewart came out. He was killing it. Jimmy Olander from Diamond Rio. He was smoking bender. But I still, you know, being from Maine, nobody knew what a B bender was or even where to get one.
Okay.
So, to be honest with you, man, I just sit there but I also really love the steel guitar. I love the sound of a steel guitar. And so I was like, well, how can I get that sound? So instead of playing like an A chord, I would play like an A sus2 and then bend it up.
Oh, yeah.
So I was trying to copy a steel guitar, you know.
Wow. Yeah, that's just crazy. That's great stuff.
You can't see us, but the three of us are just almost weeping.
Yeah, yeah. My mouth just dropped open as you were doing that.
I'm like, I just go get my guitar and just like keep up.
It's amazing for me because I really didn't know as a kid what I was creating. That I was actually trying to. I mean, I just thought, well, man, if they're all playing these licks, then I got to as well. You know, if I want to be a national session guy, well, then I need to learn how to do this. And so, literally, man, and then of course, later in my, late teen years, I learned about a B bender, and I was like, oh, man, this all could have been easier? Like, what the crap? It just made me mad.
That's great.
But to be honest with you, man, I'm really glad that just coming from humble beginnings, man, and just trying to grab as much as I could as a kid. But from age 12, I started playing in local country bands, and most people are like, man, how would they let a 12-year-old kid in to play guitar in a band, on the weekends? But they all just were like, man, we had a 3-piece band. It was me on guitar, Sid MacArthur on bass, and then we had John Eales on drums. And so we were called Standing Room Only because, buddy, we packed the places out every weekend.
Right.
Dude, I hate to say it, I was making more money when I was 12 than I'm making now.
Well, me too.
Yeah, it's crazy. But I will say, Sid MacArthur was the guy who came to my house and said his guitar player was sick and he needed someone to fill in for him. And, of course, Dad's like, did you get your homework done, Slick? And I'm like, yeah. Well, you can. And man, I'll tell you, my dad was rough on me, son. I'll tell you, if I didn't get great grades, man, I didn't play guitar. So I was at National Honor Society in school, and president of the National Honor Society and all that stuff. So it was first honor essay of my class of 70 students maybe, but I had to have great grades, man, or my dad's like, give me the guitar, Slick. And yes, I'm from the state of Maine, so it was guitar.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah, I'm a Boston boy myself, and spent many summers up there. And
now, are y'all gonna get mad at me for saying go Red Sox?
No, go ahead.
No, man.
I'm a Yankee fan, and if it wasn't for the Red Sox, the Yankees wouldn't be who they are, right? Same thing for the Sox, man.
Now you stated that, I didn't, right?
Yeah.
So
it's good, man. There's nothing better than
whenever you want.
when those two teams are
those are the
both
games.
going together real good. That's the best thing. Like I wasn't happy this year because Boston doesn't have a great team this year.
Well, man, I loved it back in the early days with Rocket Roger Clemens and Wade Boggs. And see, that's the funny thing, man. I grew up in a household of athletes. My dad was an athlete and a New England motocross racer when I was young, and lifted weights and always training. But Dad was also a baseball and basketball coach.
Wow.
worked in a paper mill, worked in Georgia Pacific Paper Mill for 38 years as a journeyman welder and pipe fitter. And but he taught all the baseball teams and basketball teams. And so, all I saw was, I could never see enough to watch Hot Licks videos or read tablature on a Guitar Player magazine or anything like that. But yet there were Pistol Pete Maravich videos going in the house all the time. And my brother. So what I did while my brother was practicing, basketball, right? So I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, Jerry, keep doing that, dude. And he's like, I'm so like, and I'm sitting there and rock out with him like for hours, man, while he's practicing his dribbling, man. So man, fun as a kid, man. But I grew up in a house full of athletes, man. And here I was, the chubby little guitar player, and bringing home tubas and trombones off the bus, and
Right.
So you're basically self-taught, right? Like you self-taught yourself how to play. Did you have help lessons or anything? Or
well, I tell people that it came, the gift came from the good Lord above, brother. Because seriously, my dad took me for a 10-minute banjo lesson with a guy named Dave Kenyon in St. Stephen, New Brunswick, Canada, and I went on stage that very weekend acting like I played it 40 years. In fact, I won New England Banjo Champ when I was 11 for the Downers Country Association.
Wow.
So man, it was like I'd take a 10-minute lesson, and then I'd just be like, all right, I got this, sawing fiddle and playing banjo. But it's funny now, this is really weird to say, guys, but I'm 45 years old now. And I'm bringing back some of the old instruments that I played all those years ago. And I'm going, man, I haven't touched a fiddle since I was like 12. So, man, and it was like, sounded like a pig under a gate, man. I'll play guitar good, So, thank God I met some great musicians in Nashville, man, that I can call when I need some tracking done. So,
that's great.
Fun. It's supposed to be fun, and so I love grabbing every instrument I can find, man. In fact, I've got a yearning now to get a steel guitar of my own so I can sit and play and and that kind of stuff. So I'm looking forward to that one of these days.
Oh, that's excellent.
Yeah, man, why not? Right? Life is too short. You got to have fun through it all, right?
Yeah,
absolutely.
I love your enthusiasm for the instrument still. You see some people who have played and work in Nashville, and it's their job. It's their briefcase, right? They come home, they put their briefcase down, and it's over for the day. You're all in. I love that.
Well, I try to be, my friend, but I can assure you, I lived in Nashville for 22 years, and it became that same way for me. I can honestly tell you, since I moved out of Nashville and moved to Chatham, Virginia in 2018, my wife has said, I've never seen you happier. I just wrote and recorded my new album called The Chatham Sessions. Mm-hmm. It's 15 cuts, and I played every instrument on the record myself.
Wow.
I actually engineered it myself for the first time in my entire life, thanks to Brother Kenny Thurman. So I've been blessed, boys. I ain't no doubt about it. But Nashville was like a giant rabbit hole that you fall in.
Right.
And spend digging your way out going, man, is there really air up there?
Okay. Yeah.
I say that not disrespecting the town, because it's like any other occupation. When you dive into an actual quote business, well, then you do everything else everybody does, and you're all searching for that same pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, so to speak.
Yeah.
So I guess we all do it. So I'm not saying that in a degrading way toward Nashville. I think it sucks you in, and you fall into that trap, and the next thing you know, you're jaded and you're mad, and because you're right, your guitar becomes your briefcase, And,
I hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah, now I actually tell people I'm playing guitar now in life because I want to, not because I feel like I have to.
Yeah, big difference.
That's fantastic. That's good. Well, I'll tell you, we obviously we did our research. Besides having already known you, I went back to kind of go do some research to make sure like I knew like the latest, what you were doing and stuff. And, like I watched a lot of interviews and like a lot of your instructional videos, man. I've never seen you not have a smile on your face, man. you know?
Well, if you don't love it, you can't do it. It's not worth doing if you don't love it, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think what it is, though, man, is guitar is such an amazing instrument in that you can learn every single day of your life.
Yes.
And I still do that, man. I'm still the guy, you know, hunting on YouTube for, you know, what's a different way of playing a diminished scale, or let me find some licks, or let me find this, let me find that. There's always something new out there. And that's why I tell people, they're like, well, who's the best guitarist in the world, dude? I'm like, they're everywhere.
Yeah.
Because there's no better anything. There's just different levels of excellence. And really, man, you can learn from anybody and everybody. So to me, man, I'm still doing that to this day. And I think that's why I keep that smile on, man, because I just feel like I'm old hairy-legged guitar picker from Maine that's been real blessed through all this, you know.
That's a
Amen.
great attitude.
Amen.
I gotta say.
So now, Johnny, I know we talked about this before we went on. You do most of your recordings now at your own studio, Camp Hiland.
Yes, which I'm sitting now, yeah.
And so now there's something that really cool that I wanted to share with the public is that you're, during this downtime with the virus and everything, you're able to record demos for unsigned bands at a reasonable price.
Yes, but I've been doing actual full-on record cuts for folks. I mean, yes, we've done demos, but we've done full record cuts for folks. So it's amazing what we're able to do here, man. And of course, guys, I'll have to stop and give a massive thank you out to Brother Kenny Thurman, because he's a gentleman I've known, you know, all in Nashville. And, you know, Kenny is known as one of the best sound men ever, man. I mean, he's been on the road with Vince Gill, with Mike Henderson and the Blue Bloods. He's worked with Mark Chestnut, Jamie O'Neill, Joe Diffie, you know, the Grand Ole Opry. He's been out with Phil Vassar for the last 11 years. But it's amazing, man, because when I moved up here, 9 times out of 10, it was someone calling from Nashville going, "Why did you move, dude? What's wrong with you?" Kenny called, "Oh, boy, here goes the speech." And he actually said, man, he said, a little bird told me that you were at Brother Benny's house the other night, you know, hanging with Ricky Van Shelton. And I said, yeah, sure was. And he said, dude, you realize we live about 16 miles apart? And I said, you know, maybe we did in Nashville, dude, but you know, I left there. He's like, dude, I live in Danville, Virginia, man, just down the road from you. And it was, here again, guys, another blessing, because Kenny said, dude, what are you going to do up here? And I said, man, I'd love to create a blind man studio. I said, I had a gorgeous studio in Nashville, so proud of it, but it had so much rat gear and buttons and lights and all this stuff that really intimidated me and made it to where I just couldn't engineer anything in there because it was too much. It was overwhelming. So Kenny thought about it, and he said, brother, he said, what kind of money you got saved up? I'm like, well, not much, dude. I just moved, you know. And but I said, look, I got some gigs coming up, and you know, this was back in 2018 or 2019. I'm sorry, we moved up here in December of 18. But anyway, I played a couple of gigs with the U.S. Army, believe it or not. Had a blast. I did the 4th of July show with them, and I love our troops, guys. I really do. I love our military, and I love to play for them anytime I can. But you know, I saved up some money from doing some gigs and some clinics and stuff. And so Brother Kenny said, well, boy, let's go shopping. And the next thing I know, he says to me, guys, I swear to God, this is hilarious. He said, Johnny Hiland, I'm going to have you up and running and recording in 3 hours. I said, well, you don't even know who you dealing with. You know? Mr. Blind Boy, the guy that, you know, I said, dude, I said, now granted, you put a piece of chocolate cake in front of my face, I'm going to sniff that shit out, man. But other than that, I can't see, you know, hardly anything. So, but anyway, I just said, dude, you're out of your mind. There's no way. And literally, we put all this stuff together. I called my good friends at Boss Roland and said, look, I need a V-drum kit because I want to record at 3 o'clock in the morning, you know, when a song hits me, you know. And it was so amazing, man, because between Boss and the stuff I bought with Brother Kenny, he did not lie to me. He had me going in 3 hours. And he left. He's like, well, there you go, brother. Have fun. And he said, now I expected MP3, from your first tune within the first week. Shoot, boys, I had him the first MP3 by the next morning. So that's how quick it happened. And it was just like, I'm 45 years old now, guys, and I've never been able to do that my entire life. So it's really a dream come true for me. And then to see it flourish into a business opportunity during the pandemic, it's I'm actually just speechless when it comes to that.
Yeah, that's incredible. And the fact that you're helping out other bands, like, now what do they send you? Well, first they have to contact you at your email, and then you just work it out from there?
Yeah, man. Folks write to my email address, which is hiland007@comcast.net. They just tell me that they're a singer-songwriter or an artist or even just someone that's written a song. And they're like, man, how do I go about this? And I'm like, all you got to do is send me an MP3 to this email address. I'll chart the song. I'll go cut it for you. We'll talk about what instrumentation you want, what you're hearing, what style you want it to be and that kind of thing. And I said, I'll track the song down for you. I'll send it back until you're happy. If there's something you're not liking, let me know. I'll change it. I said, then we'll send the song to you to get your vocal put on it. And, I make sure they have a way to cut their own vocal,
Right.
I said, all right, after you're done with your vocals, send it on through to Brother KT, and he'll mix it for you. And once you get it back, you can put it on iTunes and release it. And, of course, that's the beautiful thing about today, guys. You don't have to release a whole album. You can put out a song.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That is so cool.
It is a blast, man. I love it. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, it's been an odd time with this pandemic of musicians trying to figure out, what to do, like
it's been real, my friend. I got to admit, it's
yeah.
Like everybody, I'm sure, it's we never could have imagined anything like this.
No.
Yeah.
Tommy and I are active musicians right now. Lenny is from the club owner side now. Who's an ex-musician. You can never say an ex-musician because you're always a musician,
right?
But Tommy and I were in the same band, but not at the same time. So,
wow.
But it's been hard on us because now Tommy's in one band and I'm in another band, and we haven't. Tommy, when was your last gig? Was it March?
It was March 4th.
Yeah, and mine was February going back then, and I imagine you haven't played in a long time yourself out live, right, Johnny?
I think it's been since February for me too.
Yeah.
Did you have a bunch of dates lined up? I'm sure that
had a pretty busy summer lined up all the way into the fall. Everything got canceled. So.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was more or less. I had some clinics booked in Atlanta with Brent Mason and Richard Smith, and
wow.
We had some really cool shows lined up and stuff as well. So I was a little bit bummed about it.
Where's something we need to drop something for a name every time he drops a name because he knows all these people.
I know. When Ricky Matlock was on, you said you were really good too.
Yeah.
Later, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, he was a blast. I'll tell you that. Wow.
He was a blast, but.
So, well, how is live shows in your area now? Is it still like they're not doing anything? It's 25% capacity in the venues, or
I think a lot of guys are doing like singer-songwriter things. A guy with a guitar, maybe.
Yeah.
Right.
Those are very, very loose as far as like you said, maybe 20 people, 25, something like that. But it's I've been talking to a lot of my buds back in Nashville, man, and they're all just like, man, this is terrible. I mean, seeing pictures of Lower Broadway in Nashville completely shut down, it's like, that's scary, man. I mean, there's a lot of tourists that go through that town,
we've talked a lot about it on here because us as musicians, I get it. Like we can't play. Tommy and I have day jobs, so we'll get by. You can do your stuff. You're doing
the studio stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, you can record and stuff. Now, what about all these guys that work the theaters? All these the club owners, the Like, how many people does it go to do
Yeah.
a show? The theater workers. We lost New York, and I mean, basically, New York is not New York without the theater. You know.
Right.
So.
Well, it's amazing, man. I have been, I've taught guitar the last 25 years, and so my student list actually grew when the pandemic.
Yeah.
Which I've been real blessed by, man. And I mean, usually I only teach, advanced guitar players, but man, I've been having some fun with a couple of buddies of mine, kids, they'll jump on there with a little Ibanez and, okay, Mr. Hiland, what do I do?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So you got to bring that.
Yeah. I would be in that category.
Practice coming in this beard, and I'm just like, I said to my wife, I said, am I already Mr. Hiland? Good gracious, what happened? I was the 20-year-old kid in Nashville, and now I'm the old fart.
Yeah, don't worry. I got 12 years on you, so don't worry about it.
Same here.
Actually, all of us we're all the same age, right? We're all 56.
You're the youngest.
Lenny's birthday is in a couple of days, right, Lenny?
Yeah.
Yeah, a week. So he's going to join the ranks of me and Tommy. So.
Ooh.
Right on.
So we're all up there. We're older than you, so you're just a kid.
Yeah, you're the youngest today.
Feel good.
But
It seems like guys in their 50s can call someone in their 40s, a kid.
Yeah.
But yet I'm still calling, and now I'm calling kids in their 30s kids.
Kids,
Yep.
right? Absolutely.
I'm like, man, weird.
Yeah. Wow.
and we call them children, the 30-year-olds.
Yeah. Well, in New York, they're all hipsters in their 30s now.
Yeah.
They're all hanging out in Brooklyn, in bad clothes, bad glasses, and saying how cool and everything is. So.
Wow.
So Johnny, as you were progressing through, you were in Nashville. You were a session player, like Randy Travis, Hank Williams the third.
Yep.
Travis, Toby Keith.
Yep.
To name a few. And what was that experience like? Were you like the in-demand guy?
I'm sorry, repeat that last one?
Were you like the in-demand session player to play with these people at the time?
I guess as I started my career, my solo career, my name kind of grew. But I will say it kind of helped me and hurt me in a way, because then it seemed like Johnny wasn't just the all-around session guy. It was, we got to bring Johnny Hiland in for that chicken picking thing.
Okay. Right.
And so you were categoried.
Yeah, pigeonholed kind
Pigeonholed,
of.
yeah.
But then again, man, I can't say that was a bad thing. I mean, Hank the Third's been so amazing to me. I've played on 8 or 9 of his records.
Wow.
I won a Grammy with Ricky Skaggs back in 2004 with Brand New Strings, and played on a song called Johnny's Got Some Brand New Strings. Go Elixir, baby! But it's the session work, guys. This has been the most amazing thing. I signed my first record deal with Mr. Steve Vai with Favored Nations, of course, and went out to the Mothership studio, in Hollywood. Now, here's what was cool. I had Billy Sheehan, after sitting in with G3, Billy Sheehan offered to play on my record.
Wow.
And the funny thing is, I'm, of course, huge fan of Billy, right? So, Billy, you got to pick the drummer then. And he's like, I want Pat Torpy, man, from Mr. Big. He's got to do this with us. And I'm like, you think he could do like a Hot for Teacher train beat kind of thing, dude? That'd be fun. And Billy's like, I'm sure he'll figure it out, dude. And then, of course, he turned me on to Colorado Bulldog, and I was like, yeah, cool. So, but anyway, I said, this is going to be such an amazing experience. So then I did my first Hot Licks video with Arlen Roth, where I got the chance to meet Bill Holloman from Danny Gatton's band.
Oh,
Yeah.
And I had Bill come in and play keyboards and sax on that album, on my very first album. And then I'm playing with the very first Johnny Hiland band in Nashville. And who walks up to my first manager, Mac, but Peter Collins, who produced, Metallica, Rush, Jewel, all kinds of people.
Yeah.
And he's a British fella, he is. He's like, I want to produce Johnny's record. So, guys, so here I am out in Hollywood doing my first solo record. and sitting in with the G3 tour. And by that time, I was out doing dates with George Clinton and P Funk, and doing the stuff with Sammy Hagar that you guys see online, stuff like that, on YouTube. And it was amazing that the rock guys really took a liking to me, and became tighter friends with me at first, even more so than the country guys. But the next thing I knew, man, I was out in Hollywood cutting my first record, and then I'd go out and do a date with George Clinton and P Funk, which I only did about 6 or 7 of them, or 4 or 5, something like, I don't remember. It was just a short run. But he'd let me come out every once in a while and get on stage with him and play. And George has always been so nice to me, man. But I'd get to go out and play with George Clinton and P Funk, and then fly home and play on a Toby Keith record. And then, go see, jump on stage with Steve Vai somewhere, and then come home and play on a Rebecca Lynn Howard record, back in Nashville. So I was really living a double dream, if you will. But I must say, guys, honestly, when that whole massive dream was coming true, there was a part of me that was like, man, well, I'm not doing what Steve Vai told me to. And Steve told me when I started, he's like, son, pick a lane and drive, man. If you're going to be a country dude, be a country dude. If you're going to be a rock dude, be a rock dude. But, man, growing up loving all different kinds of music, guys, and different genres, I couldn't choose just one.
You know what? And I'm glad you didn't listen to him, because in all your solo stuff on your records, you incorporate the Danny Gatton influence, the chicken picking, like I said earlier when we started the show, the shred and all the melodic guitar instrumental stuff, and you weave it all into one, and it's just like, that's you, and that's and that's from all your influences.
I think what Steve was trying to do, though, man, was to help me become an artist that would get on radio, And I think, obviously, being a label owner at the time, I mean, that was something that he was striving for. And I was just thankful that he even had any belief in my career at all, that I could go anywhere, do anything. I was, Steve Vai, right? You're like, man, I can't even like what I do. But he's been such an incredible friend over the years. And like I said, I'm sure Steve giggles now going, well, he didn't pick a lane to drive, but boy, he sure has been having fun, So, but I do love Steve Vai, man. And I wouldn't have the career I have today if it weren't for him giving me that start,
Right.
So now you did one record with Favored Nations?
Yep.
And then you switched over to, I believe, Shrapnel Records you went to, right?
Well, I actually did an album in the middle of that.
OME?
Called Loud and Proud, which I did in Nashville with my dear friend Jim Lightman, and love Jim to death. We got a nice studio in Nashville called Platinum Lab, and we did it there, but that album was kind of like what I guess, when Peter produced my record, he took a lot of the solos out, and he took a lot of the shred out in my first album because he wanted it to be more commercial, more radio friendly. So when Loud and Proud came, man, I was like, oh, I'm going to just have my road band and just play on this album. So Loud and Proud came out, and then, but I released that independently, and may have kind of been the wrong time to do that because I re-released it in 2017. But to be honest, then Mike Varney, through my buddy Jason Macedo, man, I met Mike Varney, and Mike signed me on to Shrapnel Records, and Jason and I got to go out and hang out in Cotati, California, and had Stu Ham play bass on that record, and Jeremy Olson from Steve's band played drums, and then we brought Jesse Bradman in from the band Boston. He played some keyboards on it, and so I mean, it was another dream come true to be a part of the Shrapnel legacy.
Wow. Just so you know, Jason's actually watching right now. He wanted to say, hey, Johnny, and I told him I'd give you a shout out. So he's watching.
While you're on the subject, and Jason, thanks for tuning in, bro. It's good to. Sorry, I missed you today. I was at Dad's birthday, but anyway, let everybody know watching. And this is the first time I've really said it outside of my Facebook. Mm-hmm. But Jason has been working steadfast on tabbing all of my music.
Really?
So we're going to be releasing tabs real soon. So y'all keep watching on Johnny Hiland Official on Facebook.
Okay.
Also, my website, johnnyhiland.net, because we're going to be releasing tabs. I know I've had a lot of fans reach out and say, man, I want tab for this song or that song. And thanks to Jason and a few of his tab buddies, they've been really knocking it out of the park, man. It's amazing.
Well,
Wow.
those won't help us, but okay.
Well, all the songs that I wrote for Kimmy, Jason actually printed out for me, and I gave them to Kimmy for Christmas. My sweet wife, Kimmy, I don't know how she's put up with me for almost 16 years, but she has. But so we framed them, and I gave them to her for Christmas. And the funny thing is, we got to laughing when we got the house here in Chatham. I hung them on the wall right as you walk in the door. And Kimmy was kind of giggling at me. She's like, you have such a proud grin on your face when you look at those. And I said, yeah, baby, because I know I wrote those songs specifically for you as my sweet wife, the biggest blessing in my life, because she really, truly is. But I said, the funny thing is, I can't see shit on that thing. I couldn't tell you what one note means. But I'm so tickled that Jason did that for her, and it was such an amazing gift, Kimmy. Yeah. She just, but I still sit there and go, God, I wish I could read that. I'm like, man, doesn't my music look cool? People, I think it's cool.
It's got to be awesome.
Yeah, Jason said some guys helped also a lot. So, so he did. Also, there's somebody on, Brad Wilson says, hey, Johnny.
Hey, Brad.
Great to give shout outs to people as they come on. So I try to get everybody when they come on to at least, we have Frank Tassielli is saying hi too.
Hey, Frank.
Howdy do. Man, it's good to have some folks on with us, boys. I love that.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Yeah, I we try to keep up with it. Yeah, we're a small time though. I'm trying to do a million things at one time, so we're all trying to do it. But yeah, I think the first time I heard of you. Obviously, I was a huge Steve Vai fan. I had one of the guitars and everything. So I heard about that. And I'm like, what the hell is he doing to the country guy? And then I listened and I was like, oh shit. But but my country stuff does go way back.
Yeah.
Those chicken pickers are, it's. I don't know if you can see behind me, but Telecasters are all back there. So
no.
All that stuff is that goes way back to me. My dad's influence of with the country guys all the time. But I was shocked that Steve Vai had signed you. And then I hear you going over to Shrapnel. I'm like, Varney's digging this guy? What's going on, man?
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm going to give Steve thanks again, because he was the guy really who taught me how to write a proper instrumental. He was the guy that listened to all my. I was going crap, no crap, more melody, crap, But it wasn't that he was being like that. I'm just being funny. He was so generous with saying, man, look, you need to, put a chorus in here, before you shred this solo, and write a song like you would almost write a vocal song, give it a verse and a chorus and a bridge, and then he's like, but focus on that melody first. And I remember, man, when I sent him in this song, he's like, yeah, dude, that's it. That's the melody. He's like, write something that sticks in people's heads that they'll remember. And then, put your solos around that melody when they fit. And so I do give Steve a lot of credit, man, for really working with me and helping me dial in not only my style, but how I write, but I told him as well. I said, brother, I've listened to you and Joe Satriani so long, man, that, outside of listening to Buck Owens and Waylon Jennings and, Merle Haggard and all the country greats, I said, man, I've grown up loving Van Halen and Satch and you. And so I said, man, you guys all have rubbed off on me. But Absolutely. He was so good and letting me, and really teaching me. So I give him a lot of credit for that.
Yeah. And
that's amazing.
Yeah, he's got he is an amazing player. I mean, just
man.
You can hear him play, and nobody else will ever sound like him.
That's how you're.
Yeah, that's
guitar sounds very vocal when he's playing it.
Man, I'll tell you what, Steve Vai is the only guy I can ever say, out of all the shows I've been to, I literally was in complete tears and didn't know why.
Right.
And it was like just hearing his tone live and watching his show. He was playing, it wasn't even For the Love of God, it was another ballad, but man, I don't know what it was, but it just, next thing I know, I just got tears flowing, and I'm like, why am I crying? What's the...
Yeah.
But it literally the emotion that Steve puts in his guitar playing, man, is there's nobody that does it like he does. That's just...
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I know where the thank you section's going. So,
well, man, I have so many people to thank in my lifetime, brother, because as you know, to make any artist in this business, it takes a massive amount of great people. It really does.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I can hear how many different influences you have. I mean, obviously, if you're influenced by Vai and Satriani and Van Halen, and yet you have all those country guys behind you too, that's a big thing. They have so many different influences.
It's fun though, and I think
Absolutely.
it's fun to bridge all those styles together. It's a great musical journey it can take you on. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And that's what you do so well. You just like take it all, and it's the way you weave it together that's just like, holy smokes, I can't believe a guy like this is doing all this. You keep the country traditional and respectful, it's like all over the place, but it makes sense.
Well, thanks. I really do thank you for that, man, because it's been, in writing my own music, it's been kind of hard because I'm like, gosh, man, I'd love to do a finger tapping lick in the middle of this country tune, but the traditionalists would be like, I don't know about that.
You keep it, like even like when you do like the gospel influence stuff, it's very traditional, and when you do the country rock, it's got that Leonard Skinner vibe where it's just pumping.
Oh.
And then when you do like the instrumental stuff, it's just like you could be that kind of a genre player, but like you're all of that rolled into one. And the cool thing is you never know what you're going to get every time you do a guitar solo. You don't know where it's going to go.
Well, man, it's funny. I get the funny part about my career, really, at the end of any record, the guy that masters the record goes, okay, man, so, what are you kind of aiming this toward? I'm like, I don't know, because every song's different, and there's chicken picking, there's blues, there's rock, there's I'm like, I don't know, brother. You just master it, and they give you that look like, oh, great, thanks, dude. A lot of help you are there, blind guy. Really, what makes my albums fun is I don't even know where they're going to go until they're, people are like, man, don't you have a theme for your album? I'm like, yeah. Pick my butt off. That's the theme, Give my fans out everything I've got, man. So, of course, I'm going to try to write great songs and try to deliver the best that I can. So, that means that one song might be a Don Rich kind of thing. The next one might be a Danny Gatton thing. And then the third one might be just complete slide blues. I don't know. So, but it's just, trying to offer my best is all I can do, man. And so I don't really have any idea where my records go. They just take off on their own.
And that's the art right there. It's like you make an art. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fun.
Absolutely.
So now when you go, do you have like song ideas written down that you go to when you go to record, or do you just like plug in and you decide, I'm going this way, this is what I'm feeling? How does that process for you writing a song work?
Man, it's funny because sometimes it could be a line. Like, I'm not going to give my new line away that I've got.
Right. Yeah, I get it.
But, I'll find a line like, and I'll be like, what can I do with that? I can use it over a major 7, or I can do, kind of the... So I just kind of sit there with one lick and just see what it feels best over,
And then you just go from there.
That's how it works.
Damn.
That is great. So tell us about the guitar you're playing now. This is
now
your signature one, right?
This is my brand new signature guitar, man. It's been out for a couple of 2 or 3 years now with Kiesel guitars. Guys, I'll tell you, out of my entire career, I finally, after all these years, found my guitar home.
All right.
Jeff Kiesel could not have built me a finer instrument, but this is the Johnny Hiland model.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Nice.
Absolutely stunning.
It is my baby. I will tell you. It's let me remove the tuner here.
Okay.
But yeah, it's my baby, man. It's really fun, man, because kids will see it and they go, that guitar's got his name on it.
Yeah. That's got some beautiful. That's bird's eye up top, right?
It's a bird's eye fingerboard.
Wow.
And the back is actually just the back of the neck is just regular rock maple.
Okay.
But nowadays they're actually what do they call it? Roasting. You can actually,
right.
That's the new thing, is the roast in the neck.
Yep.
Yeah. So they did a Johnny model with the roasted neck now as well, and bird's eye looks beautiful with roasted maple.
Oh, it does. I haven't seen one roasted. Wow.
Wow. Man, I'll show you another one here in a minute. I got a bunch of guitars.
Yeah. I'll tell you, I at first, when they first started doing that satin finish on the guitars, I was not a big fan, but that's now my favorite look.
We'll see what they call the raw tone finish. So it's not completely satin, but yet in a way it is.
Right.
You can feel all the grain in it, so I guess I could.
Yeah. So it actually allows the wood to breathe a little bit too, I imagine, right?
And I'll be honest with you, man. When I created this guitar with Jeff, they have a standard T-style guitar called the Solo.
Yeah.
Yes. Standard T-style guitar. But what I told Jeff was I said, man, I don't want anything to impede the actual tone of this guitar. So I said, man, I want a really lightweight swamp ash body. And I said, I want my signature pickups. They used to be made by Billy Magella of Electric City Pickups in Waymark, Pennsylvania, believe it or not.
Okay.
And Billy has been such a dear friend over the years, but due to some health reasons, ECP shut down Electric City Pickups. So Kiesel now mounts my pickups in-house. But what we did is I said, Jeff, I want my pickups mounted directly into the body. No wiggle room at all.
Yeah.
Right.
You can still, raise them and lower them as you need to, but they're so nice and tight in the body.
Yep.
And of course I said, look, even the I don't want anything to impede the tone of this guitar. So what we did though was the signature pickups that I had in my Music Man before I went to Kiesel were the Strat size.
Okay.
So Jeff said, man, if we do this, he said, why don't we give your guitar the arm contour like an S-style guitar?
Right.
So it's got that arm contour and a belly cut.
Yeah, okay. All right.
So anyway, he did both of them for me, a belly cut and the arm contour. And
nice.
it makes this guitar so comfortable to play, man. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. I have...
one cool thing about this guitar, though, is it's got a hip shot bridge where the saddles are rounded, so you don't cut your hand.
Okay. That's nice.
Yeah.
Then, what I did, guys, and I'll just show you this quickly, but 1, 3, and 5 are like your stock T style.
Okay.
So you got your bridge pickup. Then in the middle, you got your middle telly tone, so you got, your bridge and neck.
Okay.
That's like kind of my country shuffle.
Yep.
That kind of thing. And then, of course, you got your neck tone, but in the 5th position. But here's what's cool, guys. 2nd position of this Dunlop Super Switch is like the Steve Wariner, Albert Lee.
Oh. Nice.
So I needed that tone.
Yeah.
And here's how my guitar differs from anyone else's on the market, is that the 4th position, after you go past the middle telly style, in the middle, got bridge and neck, well, then the 4th position is just the middle Strat pickup by itself.
Okay.
So, and then, of course, you got your 5th position. Now, what I did is I don't like the spongy tone of an old T-style. So we took this neck pickup and really, it's got that real kind of rounded It's got that real stratty, rounded tone to it. So if you want to kick on a tube screamer, you can really get into that. You can really scream on the blues with it. So.
Wow. Before we go any further, Tommy, I'm going to sell you any of the guitars that you want. I'm not going to play anymore.
Well, I'm not in the market for any tellies at this point.
Well, you know what? I got like 8 of them, so.
And keep those, man. You just gotta
I'm just joshing. I love my tellies, man. I dig them.
Yeah, man. But guys, one thing I'm most proud of about the Johnny Hiland JH6 Kiesel is it's it seems like the whole market of guitars just went right through the roof.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm not going to other companies' names, but man, you can't barely find a USA made D-style guitar for under $2,500.
Right.
Johnny, $17.99, US built, custom made to my specs.
Yeah.
I just love this thing, man, and we've been selling the fire out of them thanks to you great people watching, because the guitar is the most affordable T-style on planet Earth right now.
Yeah. Wow.
US made. Yeah.
US made.
Wow.
That's the best part.
Well, I think I know where my next telly's coming from.
But yeah, I mean, how many guitars, guys, do you know for $17.99 where you're going to get stainless steel frets?
No, absolutely.
Fiber rods up the whole side of each side of the truss rod for stability. This guitar's got every feature you could ever want.
Yeah.
Plus the unique, switching stuff that my guitar offers and all that. It's just an amazing box, man. It really is.
Yeah. Wow.
And when you buy from Kiesel Guitars, man, you're buying into an amazing family that's been around since 1946. And, Jeff Kiesel and the guys when you buy a guitar, you become part of the family. So,
wow. Well, we got to talk to Jeff and have him come on the show.
You should, man. He's an amazing guy. The whole family's
Wow. Yeah, we actually do some, we talk to some manufacturers on and off. We do like a spotlight thing for them. So, yeah,
sure.
That'd be great. That'd be nice.
Well,
Especially
guys.
That guitar is beautiful.
Oh, well, thank you, brother.
Yeah.
I got some more to show off here in a minute. But I will say, Kiesel is an amazing guy. And the thing that separates Kiesel from the rest is they sell their guitars direct.
Yes.
So, if you want to order a Johnny model, all you got to do is go to kieselguitars.com or call 858-GUITARS. There you go.
Well, see, that's easy.
Yeah.
We will definitely put a link.
What was that again?
On YouTube. Yeah, we'll definitely put a link down below, especially since we lost our Amazon affiliates. So we'll definitely put a link down there.
Cool guitars.
Yeah.
Going across the screen, I love that.
I can do that right now too.
That's hilarious. But I will.
Actually, I'm watching the.
I'm sorry?
I'm watching the teletyping. What the hell is that called? Good God. The closed caption.
Oh, okay.
And so I'm watching the numbers come across, the .com, and I'm like, this is great.
That's great. So what are the other guitars you're using right now?
Man, I've got a bunch of them, my friend. I'll
see them.
Yeah, let's see them.
Yeah.
Well, Johnny Hiland, my JH6 is my main squeeze for anything that I do. Really the most versatile guitar I own. But I'll share a few others with you that I have fun with.
Mm-hmm.
Girl, I'm going to set you down there. So, just to show you guys, here is one of the newer... Oh, come on, guy. What's the matter with you? Why are you being like that? So here's one of the newer Johnny Hiland models. This is a silver sparkle.
Oh, look at that.
Nice.
Well, you sold me.
Yeah. Now, Tommy's guess, do they have that in black?
Oh, yeah. In fact,
sparkle would be good.
In fact, you did a run of rainbow sparkle black that was just amazing.
Wow.
So now this one is actually gloss, as you know, with sparkle finish.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it's incredible, man. I love this guitar, and it's got the new roasted neck as well.
Yeah, I saw that. It's beautiful.
It's absolutely stunning.
Here's the back of it. Just to show it to you. It is amazing.
Oh, there's got a nice little cutout by the neck too.
Yeah, I
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
But just the roasted necks are just beautiful, man. I've got so much light going on in here, guys. My studio is very dark. I like to record when it's kind of dark, you know.
Yes.
At the mood.
Studio lights, and that's why I'm sweating like a. Well, I won't go there. But yeah, I got to get up and get some more guitars. Hold on one second.
Sure. Wow, this is great.
Got to get some more guitars.
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 Get another.
All right. You're gonna cooperate with me. Well, maybe you're not gonna cooperate with me. So here, guys, this is actually a classic now because Kiesel just released the Delos, but here is the old Bolt.
Oh.
Now this is actually the whole guitar in a mahogany.
Okay.
And it's of course polished.
Yeah, I see that. It's beautiful.
Yeah, but it's I love the guitar, man. It's got a.
Is that rosewood or ebony?
It's ebony.
Oh man.
And it's got the old school Kiesel headstock, which I love.
Yeah.
Yeah. Remember when you were in junior high school and you couldn't stand up because the pretty girl was in front of you? Well, that's what I'm doing right now. I'm not standing up.
This is the first hardtail S-style I've ever had, but look at the wood in this thing, guys.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Is that one piece?
I think it is, yes.
Wow, jeez.
Yes, I believe it is.
Yeah. I don't see a seam there.
No.
That's awesome.
But yeah, that's one of my babies. I love her. She gets squeezed. She gets squeezed quite a bit.
I bet.
Now, do you take these on the road with you, or will you, or?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Now, guys, I'm gonna make you drool. Because this is my rock guitar. This is my Aries. And this is the most sold guitar by Kiesel. But this actually, I think this has some Jeff Kiesel love on it. Because Jeff actually works on guitars too.
Okay.
Check this baby out, guys.
Oh.
This tiger stripe. Jesus.
Holy smokes.
Chevron maple.
Yeah.
With Hoa body.
Oh my God. Wow.
And the reason you see the battery pack, guys, is because
those active?
This actually has your straight volume and tone knob.
Okay.
But the switch right here where I can actually go into acoustic mode.
Oh, piezo?
So I can blend the piezo pickup in there and
beautiful.
Oh, you sold me.
Or fully go completely acoustic if I want to.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Now here's the cool thing though, guys.
What the fuck is that neck?
The neck on this guitar is actually what did they call this? I don't remember. It's an African zebra wood. That's what it is.
Yeah.
I'm putting this in the light to see if I can kind of show you guys this. All of these diamond inlays are loom. So all Kiesel guitars come with luminous side dots, which is,
yeah.
Kiesel uses the good stuff. But these front ones are also loom inlay as well. And then, of course, it's got a matching headstock with the chevron, gold hardware. It's got Kiesel lithium pickups in it, and it's got the new Kiesel hip shot trim. This trim, guys, is amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
This is my shred beast, so if I ever get back on stage with Sammy or Vi, this will be...
That'll be it, huh?
That's what you're doing.
Look how thin that guitar is.
That is crazy.
Spectacularly beautiful.
Wow.
But yeah, that's actually the real thickness of it. It just does that on the top.
Wow.
Right.
Still, man, look at that.
So it has a bevel across here, so when your hand lays on it, it's just incredible. So yeah, that's my Aries, but this one was actually a NAMM. They built this guitar specifically for NAMM, and I think Jeff had a lot to do with this. But I'm going to see if I can turn this light off and show you guys this loom inlay, because it's sick.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, boy, you're going to shut off for the blind guy. You ready? 1, 2, 3, Bob. I don't know if this will actually work, but I'm going to try it. So this other light is off. Nah, it's not going to let me.
Oh.
But blue.
Yeah, I see that.
Wow.
See that?
Oh, that's
So they get
That's
really. I'm just using studio light, so it's kind of hard to get them to glow.
Yeah, no, I get it though. You can see it.
Yeah, when you walk outside for like 30 seconds and walk inside, man, it's like these things just shine at you. So pretty amazing guitar that one is. But now I have to show you guys my. This is my newest Kiesel. I just got this one a month ago. And honestly, guys, a lot of these guitars I buy on the Guitars on Stock page of KieselGuitars.com.
Okay.
Like this. This is the new Theos.
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
And this guitar actually is a raw tone finish on the. It's a raw tone all the way through. But it's a flame maple top. It's got the Kiesel trim as well. But look at. I don't know if you guys can see the flame in that neck.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's ridiculous.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And it's 20 frets just like the Aries.
So that's a 24 fret.
Got the new GT headstock that Jeff designed.
Yeah.
And but yeah, this little guitar is just so it's got that really high flame front of the fretboard, but the back is actually a, and this is all the new, burned look. What do they call that again? I forget.
Roasted?
Yeah, roasted. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, new roasted neck. But you can see it's just a beautiful piece of maple, and then they put the real flamey look on the front.
Wow.
So, but I do love this guitar a lot. It really, really plays well. And I mean, all Kiesel guitars are so balanced, man. It's unbelievable. I'll just share one more with you.
Okay.
I'll share one more. I got a whole bunch more, guys, but I spend money on Kiesels, guys, because I love the company. I'm so proud of them. This guitar right here, guys, is one of my favorites as well. And there's a little story, so I won't quite show you this one yet. I'll tell you the story.
Okay.
So I was at a NAMM show for Kiesel when the Johnny model came out, and I told Jeff, I said, Summer NAMM here in Nashville is right around the same time as the Chet Atkins Appreciation Days. Pass, they call it. And I said, Jeff, I'd love to take a Kiesel SH550 into Gretschville. Jeff said, you do that? And I said, yeah, man, of course. I said, that guitar is gorgeous. But I said, dude, I'd really love to see you make one that's, really rockabillyed out and looks cool, But, just make it, make it rockabillyed out. Because, I love Danny Gatt and I love that whole rockabilly thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, I walk into NAMM. He's like, yeah, we'll send it down to the NAMM show, man, and then you take it to Chet Days and then just send it back to us. Needless to say, I bought the guitar the minute I laid eyes on it because it was incredible. So here is the SH550.
Oh, wow.
And this has the acoustic pickup in it as well for the Chet.
Okay. Wow. That's
Seafoam.
beautiful.
So cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's insane, guys. It really is.
Yeah. Is that seafoam, right? Seafoam green? Yeah.
This guitar is really good, too, for the old... I don't even have it plugged in, but it's just loud. It's
Yeah,
great.
absolutely. It's
But
beautiful.
yeah, it's
That's gorgeous.
got a bunch of great Kiesels.
Wow.
The other cool thing about this guitar, man, is you can plug it in. You
Oh,
can
yeah.
plug it into your electric amp, and you can also run a separate line out to an acoustic amp and split the two.
Right.
So for you pet lovers out there, an SH550 is what you need.
Yes.
That is fantastic.
Yeah, so there's a bunch of Kiesels to show you guys.
That was incredible. You
The
got
last one I actually sold my R7 for. I sold my I had a 57 reissue gold top.
Okay.
I actually got rid of it because this guitar beat it.
Really?
Really.
Here is my Kiesel single cut.
Wow.
Oh.
Now,
Yeah.
I'll tell you why I love this guitar so much. Because I was at the factory when Jeff brought this out. And for guys that are used to playing, tellies and strats, these knobs are in the right spot
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
You flip the coil and go to single coils in this. I've actually played chicken picking on this guitar. It's incredible.
Wow.
So, yeah, that's the last Kiesel I wanted to share with you guys, but obviously you know why I love this company so much.
Yeah, I can see.
And,
yeah, they do a lot of different looks and yeah, a lot of the guitars.
Very exotic.
Kind of my faves down here in the studio, so this is kind of the first time. You guys are getting a rare...
Yeah.
I have to say, I love the knob placement. That's really, I'm a Les Paul guy, and I have a couple of other things like my Mockingbird has the volume knob in the exact right place. It's just, there's no challenge with it. It's beautiful. So.
Well, this man, the first time I played it, I looked at Jeff and I said, "Man, I've got an R7, but I want this."
Wow.
And so I actually took it home, put it up against the R7, and I gotta say, I as much as I loved that old Gold Top, man, and it wasn't a real old one, it was a 2010. But every guitar that I've shown you guys is down here in my studio, and it's on. Every one of these is on the new record. It's and I tell people, yeah, the Johnny Hiland model can do virtually any style, anytime. But sometimes when you just put another guitar in your hands, it gives you new inspiration. It gives you a different flavor, a different flair, And so I played a lot of slide on the new album with this guitar. So
really, wow, that's very cool.
I love this guitar a lot. So you got a Johnny Hiland exclusive. All the new guitars for the new record. Everyone's seen them now.
Great.
That's awesome.
Oh yeah, man.
That's fantastic.
All my babies. Now I do have a few more Kiesels, but the fact is, I've got a few more Johnny models in different colors that I take out most. And most of the time when I'm on the road, guys, I just take out my Johnny model because that's really all I need.
Right.
But being a session musician, yes, you need to have
like an arsenal.
Do it all, yeah. You need to have.
Right. So when you're doing session work, do you bring like for amp stuff? Do you bring a bunch of different pedals to change your sounds if you need to? What are some of your pedals that you like to bring?
Well, just on my board down here right now, this board is my kind of Johnny Hiland band board and my favorite studio board.
Okay.
But of course, the Go-Go tuner down there, the Horizon tuner. I wish I could flip this camera around so y'all could see that.
I know.
Because I'm also running a new pedal board called Earth Boards, which is just incredible.
Okay.
But anyway, I've got a Go-Go Horizon tuner. I've got the Keeley Compressor Plus.
Yeah.
And that goes down into the Greer Amps Soma, which I called the Danny Gatton pedal. It's Danny in a box.
Really?
And the reason I say that, guys, is I run 100-watt amps most of the time.
Right.
And
seen that.
Take a 40-watt Vibrolux and crank it to 10, and that would be his tone. And so I called Nick Greer one day. I watched YouTube one day, and everyone's, building preamp pedals and stuff. And I called Nick, and I said, man, and actually, thanks to Brother KT, he had one of the old ART tube pre's on his board.
Okay.
Man, I didn't know anything about tube preamps, so I kind of need to give Kenny thanks for that. But I knew that Greer Amps was making a lot of cool pedals, and I saw like 7 different preamp videos on YouTube. So I happened to know Nick, and I called him on the phone. And I said, brother, I'd run 100-watt amps, and I just cannot get a Danny Gatton tone when you're running an amp of that kind of power.
Right.
And he said, brother, I'll tell you what, I'm going to put a pedal in the mail. If you like it, make me a video, let me know. We'll work something out on it. But he said, if you don't, just send it back to me. And I got to be honest, guys, it's my desert island pedal now. It's like the one I cannot live without.
Really?
So then that goes into the Johnny Hiland Sweet Spot Super Drive made by Keeley, which was a limited run, and which is kind of a voice all of its own. Then I've got an old mid-90s TS9 tube screamer into a signature Grumble box made by Metal Pedals in New Jersey. Dave Pantaleone builds that pedal for me, and just an amazing pedal builder. I love him to death. Then that goes up to a ISP Decimator 2 for noise reduction.
Yep.
into the TC Electronic Flashback 2 X4, which I love my delays, man. TC makes the best.
Yeah. So you have 4 different presets for delays on that, correct?
I have 3 independent ones with tap tempo. Yep.
Okay.
Oh.
On board if I want it, but I don't really use a looper much. So.
Right.
And then, of course, last goes out to the. I have 2 different reverbs I love the most. I have a Keeley Omni Reverb, which is great, and I'm also on this pedal board. I'm running the J Rocket Boring Ramp.
Okay.
It's like an old Fender amp. It's one knob. You turn it up like an old Fender amp reverb, and it it gets that old spring reverb sound like you get in an old Fender. So I love it.
Right. Wow.
And then powering everything with the Voodoo Lab, of course, Voodoo Lab Pedal Power 2 Plus.
Yeah.
On the new Earth board, which is, guys, that's an answer to a prayer to a blind guy as well, because if you remember going to gigs and your pedal board quits and you're just, down on your hands and knees trying to rip pedals that have been on your board with old industrial strength Velcro.
Yes.
And your guts out. Well, honest to God, guys, I'm going to just do this because I can.
Okay.
Now, because of Earth boards, and I just wish I could turn this camera around.
Yeah.
But what's so cool is, now, because of Earth boards, I am actually able to, please don't make no sound. I've got my amp on standby, so I was hoping it would.
We've blown his stuff up.
I'll sit on these gravity boots.
Oh.
By Earth boards. So I can actually, to reach down and change out a pedal on my amp, I just pull the magnet.
Really?
All the pedal. And here's the cool thing, guys. There's a cable that goes to the bottom.
Yeah.
And if you don't use I've endorsed Voodoo Lab for well over 20 years, and I love those guys so much.
Right.
And the great folks at Earth Boards have been kind enough. They actually built me a Johnny board, and we're seeing what we're going to do with it. But to be honest, they were very aware of my relationship with Voodoo Lab, and were like, dude, you just go ahead, stay with them. Mm-hmm. But the cool thing about Earth boards is there's a cable that runs into this little boot right here on the back.
Okay.
See that? There's a little plug-in right here.
Yeah.
And essentially, you run it into your power section of your pedal.
Okay.
And essentially, you can run as many pedals as you want on your board, as long as these little red magnets are touching the magnet rail on the board. And you can put as many pedals on your board as you want. And basically, there's a little battery pack that sits to the side at the end of your pedal board, your pedal chain.
Yeah.
And truly, you can run as many pedals as you want, all powered by magnets.
Wow.
So,
wow.
Yeah, you don't really need a Voodoo Lab.
Wow.
I just love them.
Wait a minute. This is way too cool. Wait a minute.
You want that?
Yeah.
So Tommy can have like 8 of his OCDs on one pedal board?
If you wanted to, yeah.
That's all he has. I think
Another
that's the only
one?
pedals he has.
And I can put another one. And
OCDs, man, what's up with that?
Yeah, I don't know. He's got a problem. He's got a problem with that and batteries. I don't know what his problem is, but
Oh my goodness.
yeah, he's definitely got OCD is really made for him.
Oh my goodness, man! I didn't even know you had that kind of problem, my brother.
oh, dude,
Oh,
I
yeah.
got so many problems. You can't even. We're not even going to start here.
Yeah.
But see,
Yeah,
guys,
the
is your
therapist
show.
list goes on and on. You know, it's
My
rough.
therapist as a therapist.
now see, guys, you'll hear this as I put this pedal back down. Listen, that's it. The pedal's powered. It's all ready to go.
Wow.
And it literally,
Wait, that was the pedal. That wasn't Joey.
Asshole.
but yeah, man, I wish I had a way to show you guys this. I don't know if I could.
Oh,
I
there you
guess-
go.
I won't be able to turn the camera far enough, though.
Oh, probably not. Maybe not.
Maybe if I could stand up and. No. Well,
Oh,
maybe.
yeah, we can
There
kinda
it
see
is.
Yeah.
There.
Wow.
There it is.
Oh, beautiful.
Oh.
Oh, is that backlit also?
Oh yeah, it's lit green underneath.
Oh shit.
I
Wow.
love that.
It's the bomb diggity doo.
Yeah.
It is.
I still get that's a throwback to Vi because I see his neon green. He loves that neon green shit, man.
So I'm just kind of showing you guys around now. So here's
Yeah.
the amp. Here's the amp rig of choice. Well, that's actually my
Okay.
rack in the corner. But here's
Yeah.
my amp rig running tonight.
Okay.
That's my main road rig and studio rig. That's a Fat Jimmy Jefferson 100.
Okay.
Wow.
Space
And the Reeves.
Cowboy 12 Avatar cab.
Wow.
I got Avatar cabs.
I
Use
love
them.
them, dude. Love them.
Yeah.
They're great. Those people
Yes,
are
they
so
are.
good.
And I have them all run with Celestion G12 K100s.
Wow.
So they're pretty beastly.
Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. That is great. So
Thanks, guys. Appreciate that.
yeah. So I'll tell you what, we have our little segments, and we'll do that. We don't want to keep you too long.
It's all good.
Well, I want to say before anything, like, this has just been fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, brother, truly.
So we have a couple segments that we always do. We like to ask our guests because we're assholes. We can't help it. So, all right, let's talk about the one that got away. The one that got away is a piece of gear that either got lost or stolen, or you made a trade, or you sold it for a bunch of cocaine one day. So why don't you tell us?
Vegas.
Never done it, wouldn't know.
Okay,
Actually,
good.
Got a few great stories with that, but one I'm going to pick.
Okay.
I was playing with Don Kelly in Nashville at Robert's Western World. Red Vocart had sold me his. I was a Peavey boy from Maine. That's the only thing you could buy in Maine was Peaveys.
Right.
So Red Vocart actually sold me. I set my Peavey on fire at the turf. It just went up. So Red Vocart actually sold me an old Music Man amp.
Hello.
And to be honest with you, it was an amazing, amazing amp. And I played it for a couple of years with Don. And then all of a sudden it started having issues. And so I was taking it to all the amp guys around Nashville trying to get it fixed. And it ended up costing me like $1,400 in repairs, and I just couldn't keep the thing going.
Okay.
So I sold it to a buddy of mine in Nashville. So I guess you guys have heard of James. His name is James Mitchell, but he plays with Daly and Vincent at times. He's a great session musician. He's played on Alan Jackson records and stuff like Brent. But he's an amazing guy anyway. I sold James that amp for like $300, pretty much what I paid for it. And then I see him like 3 days later and he's playing it. And I'm like, what happened, dude? He's like, it was a 25-cent cable, dude. That's all it was.
Oh, my God.
Oh, well, you'll sell it back to me then. Nope.
I have to say, when the Music Man's work, they are great amps. They really are.
Well, I'll tell you guys, I was at the Philadelphia Guitar Show a few years back, and Uncle Lou, Matt, and Billy from Electric City Pickups and Matt from Martin Six String Customs, they found the same old Music Man amp and bought it for me at the Philly show. So I have another one now.
Oh, okay.
I really was like, oh, that's why I don't have any hair anymore, guys. See, because I'm selling gear. But I'm so tickled to have that amp now. And even though I'm not with Music Man Guitars anymore, I still value this little amp so much. It just takes me back to the Don Kelly days. So I'll use that amp instead of a guitar as the one that got away.
Wow. That's a nice story. Very good. Great. Okay. How about, do you have one of those Spinal Tap segments? Something that, one of those moments that everything just went bad.
Spinal Tap! Well, I'll just say this, guys. Every show for Johnny Hiland is a Spinal Tap show. You know why?
Why is that?
Because amps don't go to 11, they go to infinity. And every sound man, and I make them so angry with me that by the third song, they're ready to throw me out.
So you like to play loud?
Oh, well, I used to. I'm getting older now.
Okay.
And I want to be blind and deaf.
Not the way to go through life. No.
Oh, man. That's good.
But now, you asking me about one piece of gear that's like, I don't remember what it was you asked me, but is that the next segment you're headed to?
Yeah. That piece of gear, like, of the week or the month, that's either really cool or drives you absolutely nuts.
Well, I have two of them I'd like to share.
Absolutely.
One of which is very simple. You go to playmagslide.com to get one. but there is a brand spanking new Johnny Hiland signature slide out.
Ooh, okay.
Magnesium. It's lightweight, and if you guys can see inside, it's got these little perforations for your finger to sit in, and it is the most comfortable slide. And yes, it's got my bloody name on it. So the new Johnny Mag slide is out. This thing is absolutely incredible. Again, playmagslide.com. It's killer.
Okay.
And now that I'm a thumb pick player, you won't get thumb pick stuck in these slides because there is a hole on each end. So that's a blessing.
Yeah.
So where does the tone sit on those, though? Is it a little more? Is it glass? I mean, because it's magnesium. Is it?
No, it's unique to itself. And and the reason I say that is I've had glass slides, I've had brass slides, I have had porcelain slides from Big Heart. And I still love the folks at Big Heart Slides. They're great people, Luther and Jerry, and they took care of me for years.
Right.
But I was shown Mag Slide at an AM show a few years back, and I got to tell you guys, it changed everything about how you play slide. Magnesium is really the best tone I've ever had playing slide.
Wow.
And it made it so comfortable to wear that you can actually move I wear mine on my pinky.
Okay.
But I've got full flexibility of my pinky. I can slide and do anything I want, have full control. But tonally, you can't really compare it to anything else. I'll just say this. It's got perfect sustain. It's got, tone for days.
Yeah.
Right.
I've never lost a note with a mag slide. It's incredible.
Wow.
So
I could probably change that. I could lose notes.
I'm going to get one and ruin that.
Now, guys, one thing I'll say from being a legally blind guy is when you hit a clam on a slide, son, it's like a pig under a gate. I'll just say that. So, I've never really had any, quote, sour. Remember when you try a glass slide for the first time and you hit a real sour note?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's like
I can say that now. If you want.
Yeah.
It's real sour, right?
Yeah.
With slide, you don't have that issue. You lose those real sour notes that even makes you cringe and stop playing.
Well, I don't know. You haven't heard me and Tommy try a slide. We're New York guitar players trying slides, so.
That's awesome, brother. Well, but I will say, guys, you were asking about a product that has been really, telling you guys of my Spinal Tap playing very loud in my shows. I mean, hey, guys, I got Bruce Guttridge on drums and TJ Armstrong on bass. Bruce is a hitter.
Yeah.
So you Johnny playing loud. But there has been a new product released. It's been out for about a year now or a little over. But it was designed by a gentleman right here in Chatham, Virginia. His name is Mark Picario. He has literally saved my life. And again, I give thanks to Kenny Thurman because he turned me on to it. Why? Because Brother Kenny used to mix me at 3rd and Lindsley in Nashville, and he knows all about my loudness. But it's called the Tone Shield, and I got to say, guys, I've played maybe 3 gigs and like 2 clinics with it already. I've never had one sound man say anything.
Really?
Nothing. So now I'm going to show it to you.
Okay.
It's got 2 of them down in front of my 212, but I'm going to just grab one and show it to you.
Okay.
This is what it looks like right here.
Oh, look at that.
Okay.
Tone Shield.
Oh.
It's incredible. And it sits on a wooden plate.
Yeah.
You in front of your amp. So if your amp was me sitting straight up,
right,
sits in front of your amp like that.
Okay, so it directs the sound in a different, and rather like Bonamassa uses those straight plexiglass shields.
Yeah, they don't.
Yeah.
All it does is block the sound.
Right.
What the shield does is you can see how it's shaped on the top, and it's kind of shaped, got a unique shape to it. But what it does, man, is have you ever been on a stage where your amp was right at the back of your legs?
Yep.
And you can't hear yourself, so what do? You crank yourself up, right?
Yeah.
Well, what the Tone Shield does is it sends your tone right directly up to you instead of having the beam of sound go out and kill the front 10 rows of the audience.
Right.
This thing is an absolute lifesaver.
So it kind of goes up and over.
Yeah, it sits on the floor in a little stand, and
Yeah.
it just kind of angles out from your actual amp.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, some people don't realize that it sound kind of almost travels like a flowing river. So that would kind of shoot it up to you.
It does.
Yeah.
Well, the tone shield is something that I cannot live without now. And I'll be honest, guys.
Wow.
I've never had one sound bitch at me since I've used this.
Wow.
So it's incredible. If I use a 212 cab, I use 2 of these.
Wow.
If I'm playing my little one Fat Jimmy, I use 1,
Yeah.
So absolutely amazing piece of gear. And you can get them right here in Chatham, Virginia, toneshield.com.
Wow.
Thetoneshield.com.
Well, I should have seen that about 3 months ago, right, Tommy?
Yeah, I'm writing this down now.
Yeah.
Incredible product, guys. It truly is.
Wow. Yeah, I have one of the plexiglass shields that because I'm not playing live, it hasn't gotten any use yet. But
I have literally tried everything that I could try to get soundmen off my back,
right. Yeah.
So it's been really hard to be Johnny Hiland, the front man, trying to do my show, entertain the folks, but yet you see people slowly moving back away from the front of the stage.
Yeah.
So it was like, man, something's got to change. Something has got to give here.
Right. And when there's something to be said, I mean, an amplifier has to be at a certain volume, and it has to really be pushed a little bit to really get that sound, And as a guitar player, you want to feel it as well as hear it,
If guys, you want to deliver the best show you can and have the best tone you can.
Yeah.
But in order for you to enjoy the night as an artist and deliver the best show you can, you have to have your tone.
Yes.
Yep.
Absolutely.
When it keeps asking you to turn down and turn down and turn down, over time you've just lost the complete fun of your show, of the whole show.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I had that fight for years and years and years. And Brother Kenny told me about Mark Precario here in Chatham, and I talked with him, and honestly, I've been probably one of his biggest flag wavers since I've gotten my 2 tone shields. They're incredible. And the cool thing is, guys, they fold up and they fit in the back of your amplifier.
Wow.
So
I didn't think that. I was meant to ask about that, because it looked a little awkward the way it was sitting there. Not that a plexiglass, straight shield isn't easy, but if it folds up, that's going to be incredible.
It's incredible, man. I literally stick these right in the back of my avatar. So what you do is you just slide it out of the slot. It folds down like this.
Look at that. Oh, man. I needed to see that a few months ago.
And you slide this into the bass like this. Wow. And then a little wrap comes down, and that slides right in the back of your amp. That's how it looks.
Oh, Tommy, I think I know what you need that for. You need that for your Jubilee.
Yeah. Definitely be.
Yeah.
Oh, it's put together with the wrap on it. It ain't going anywhere. And actually, it comes with a little white bag, too, that you can put it in.
Uh-huh.
I set it right in the back of my avatar. I've got 2 of them, and they're just the most incredible little product ever.
Wow.
Yep,
That is really cool.
Not play any show or clinic without a tone shield, man. It's just the way it is.
Wow. All right. Well, we're going to definitely put the links for all that in the YouTube description we put up.
Great.
I saw we had one little blip. So what I would do is I also record the shows. So we get up the best show. People can obviously watch it live, and what I do is I put up the completely uninterrupted show that was recorded up there afterwards. This way, everybody gets to see the whole thing and no issues at all. So. We're streaming this over multiple things. We're actually on Twitch and on Facebook Live. Obviously, that's where we're getting most of our people, and over YouTube. And by the way, we had a shout out from Victoria Vetter who wanted to say hi too. So,
well, nice. Hello, Victoria.
See, she's my wife's cousin too, which is nice. I know the family's watching too. Isn't that nice?
That's amazing.
Cool.
Yeah. So we actually had a lot of viewers. We'll shoot you the numbers a little later. It was great.
Well,
all right.
I'll tell you.
So, go ahead.
I thank you guys for what you do for guitar, because in this day and age, guys, I'm doing everything I can to keep chicken picking guitar alive. It's not in country music. And so I just thank you for doing this, because this is truly amazing, and I'm having a blast.
We do this because we love it, and we love having people on who really love playing guitar and talking about it. We've had we have shows where we talk about what's going on with the local pandemic and the local music scene, which we love too. But the three of us are just guitar junkies. I mean, Joey is a Telecaster freak.
Yeah.
Hey,
I'm a Les Paul freak. Lenny loves his Flying V. It's just, but to hear your enthusiasm still, and working and sharing. See, doing that the full from demo to full on record cut with people. That's I'm glad we got to talk about that. People get to hear that. I mean, you want to do it. You love doing it, and you love communicating it. The interviews we've seen with you have been, besides stellar playing, your personality comes out.
Well, I
love like we do. I love that.
Absolutely.
I have been, and the funny thing is, I guess I've had a lot of there's a lot of people on YouTube who have been pretty crass about me. Oh, Johnny's a jumper, he's a gear whore, he's this, he's that. Look, guys, I was
get it.
I'm sorry?
They don't get it.
Well, it's not only that. It's just they don't understand the fact that when I moved from Maine to Nashville, I had $98 in my pocket, man.
Right.
Every endorser I've ever had through my entire career has really helped shape my tone, my career, what I've needed to do, what I felt important to me, and they've all shared in that dream. And I really became the artist I became simply because of all the help from Steve and Mike Varney and Jason Macedo and all my friends and fans and families. But the endorsers had a big hand in allowing me to become the artist I did. And on top of that, I could not be the artist I am today without all my endorsers and all the fans watching, because it's you guys that buy the records. It's you guys that buy the Johnny Hiland T-shirts, which I need to send you guys, by the way.
That's right. We'll send you an MRG shirt back.
Yeah.
I'll wear it, man. I'll wear it on my face. You bet.
Awesome.
Love that. That would make us very happy.
Yeah.
This has been a huge pleasure.
Yeah.
We have guys these two, the chicken pick and rule stickers.
That would go right on the front of my board.
Yeah. So we have the one more section. Now, we're going to call it the thank you section today. But we'll go around the room real quick. Tommy, do you have somebody you want to say a thank you to?
Give me 1 second here, because I just want to take a look at some of the things I've been listening to this week. You know what? I'm going to go with a little more songwriter. The guys in the Hold Steady, a great band out of Brooklyn / Minneapolis, but their guitar tones, just that full on, it's like heavy Springsteen, right? So it's just great guitars with great lyrics. So I've been really listening to a lot of that lately, and I'm going to give them a big FU because, their records are just such good songs and good playing. Right. And the guitar just hits you. Like the opening chords of their stuff, there's these big open chords, and it just, you can hear it's a beautiful Marshall with a beautiful, someone who cared recorded it. And I love that.
Awesome.
So fuck them.
Great. Lenny, do you got somebody?
Well, yeah, I do.
Okay.
So obviously, I'm going to say thank you to Mr. Johnny Hiland over here, because I knew about you and I knew how great you were. So for the last 2 weeks, because we didn't do a show last week, I really jumped into your music, and I just being a huge fan of Danny Gatton, you definitely do his style, perfectly, and with tradition, and listening to so many other players, there's a shred side of me, there's a bluesy side of me, there's a classic rock side of me, and then there's the country side of me. And I put you on Spotify, and I drive to work in the morning, and I'm like cranking like Jingle Bells, because you do like a whole Christmas kind of inspired stuff. And I'm going, every song that this guy does, there's something incredible playing wise in it. And for the last 2 weeks, it's been nothing but cranking your music, cranking it loud, like 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. I went to work. And, you know, I could have a really crappy day, and then I put on something like Long Road Home or something. Or, you know, and I'm just like, I'm right back where I need to be. And it's because of your music. And
well, thank you, brother, that means a lot to me. And
I'm serious. You know, I listen to a lot of different stuff, but the variety that you present, like I say, it's like the kitchen sink. It's everything rolled into one. And it's just like at any given moment, you don't know what you're going to do, where you're going to go, what kind of genre style that you're going to incorporate with what you're doing. And I just think that's amazing. And it's heartfelt. It doesn't feel anything contrived. And now I consider you a friend of the shows. And just listening and talking about your musical journey is just incredible. So my thing for the week is going to go to you.
Well, thank you, Lenny.
Thank you, my friend.
I really do.
Nicely said.
That's great. I'll give a quick one. I was going to say to Johnny also. I've been listening to you a lot the past couple of weeks, you know, just to refresh. And I watched a lot of interviews.
Astounding.
And yeah, just really astounding. I am going to bring up another artist real quick that just blew me away. Besides having this weird voice, and I love the guys with the weird voices too. Just a great guitar player too. Culture Wall. I don't know if you guys have heard him. Wow, he's got a dark country thing going on. It's really good. So I just wanted to say a big F you or thank you to him. So Johnny, who do you got? Who's somebody that just blew you? Obviously, you did mention Steve Vai before as one of the only ones that made you weep, and I can completely do that because I did see Paul McCartney live, and I just couldn't help myself. You know, who do you got?
I'll tell you what, man. First of all, I thank the good Lord above just for the gift of guitar and music in general.
Yes.
But I do have to give a lot of thanks to the guys like Ricky Skaggs and Steve Warner, Vince Gill, a lot of the guys that were actual country artists that were still amazing guitar players that inspired me.
Oh, yeah.
Rick's always been a hero to me, and all those guys have. But then, of course, you know, the list of guitar players that has inspired me is just through the roof. I'd be here all night. But, you know, Ray, Eddie Van Halen, I mean, Steve Vai, Petriani, and the list goes on and on. B.B. King, so many amazing guitar players. But, you know, Danny Gatton really is still the guy that I chase to this day, and that I still...
You with justice.
Well, I try to, man, and I really think because Danny has passed, it's really important to keep his legacy alive. Just as chicken picking thing, you know, and really that's kind of what I'm striving to do is keep the whole chicken picking thing, T-style thing alive. And I also want to thank Jeff Kiesel for allowing me to have the model that I have today. I'm so blessed by that. And, of course, my last thank you goes to all the fans out there because I would not be the artist I am today without every one of your support, and especially from guys like you who do shows like this. I really thank you for that.
Thank you.
Huge pleasure to have you on.
Yeah,
You're
absolutely fantastic.
Generous with your time and as an artist. Love it.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I'm so tickled you guys do this. It's amazing.
Yeah. And I got to say, man, you know, it's not too often you hear a guy that gives a shout out to his wife every time. That's really nice also. So a huge shout out to Kimmy too. Every one of your interviews is always a nice shout out to her. That's really nice to hear that.
Honestly, guys, she does because of her, I'm able to do my Facebook Lives on Sunday.
Great.
And she reads all the comments and you know, lets me know who's on with me and all that fun stuff. So without her, I wouldn't even be able to do that. So when I think of all the things that Kimmy Hiland has done for me as far as being the absolute best wife in the world, she is. I mean, she takes care of a legally blind guy every day. And, you know, that's beside being the musician. And, you know, I mean, there's been nights on the birthdays was the only time during the year I'd ever drink. And Lord, did I drink.
You have to talk to me about that.
He has loaded the entire van of all my gear and got my schnookered butt in the house and got me into bed. But, I mean, she has been absolutely the best wife in the world. I that's why I say she's the biggest blessing to my entire life, and I adore her so much, and thank God for her every day, because she is an amazing, amazing lady.
Well, that's really nice to hear.
Fantastic.
Really.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, she's
yeah. So Johnny, I'm going to have you stay on for a minute so we can say goodbye. We're going to say goodbye from Musings, Rants, and Guitars.
We need
Again,
to
that was Johnny Hiland. We're going to put all his links. I want to make sure that I get a list from you, Johnny, so I can put them all correctly down too before we leave.
Sure.
Okay?
And make sure you guys subscribe to our link to our show and buy our merchandise.
Merch.
Yeah.
Ring the
Since
bell.
we're no longer Amazon affiliates, you got to buy stuff directly from us. We didn't do so well with Amazon. So good night, everybody.
Good night. Thank you.
Right. Thank you, Johnny. Awesome.
Hey, guys, real pleasure, and thanks to everyone watching. God bless y'all.
Yeah. So.